You've swapped soda for tea. You walk more. You've filled your fridge with fruits and vegetables. And yet, the belly remains. That stubborn, silent pouch of fat that doesn't seem to listen to effort. It hugs your waistline no matter what you do. You start to wonder, is this just age? Is this just how it is now? But something deeper nags at you. Because you're trying. You've said no to cakes and fried foods. You've said yes to apples, bananas, and grapes. And still, your clothes fit the same, or tighter. You avoid mirrors. You sigh when you sit down. And maybe, just maybe, a quiet resentment begins to build. Why am I doing all this if nothing changes? Here's the part no one tells you. Not all healthy foods are helpful, especially after 60. And some of the very fruits you eat to slim down may be gently, invisibly preventing your body from letting go of belly fat. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It means your body has changed. And the rules it once followed no longer apply. After 70, your metabolism slows significantly. Your insulin sensitivity decreases. Hormones that once protected your waistline, like estrogen and testosterone, fade. What this means is simple but profound. Your body doesn't respond to sugar the same way it used to, even the sugar that comes from fruit. Many fruits are packed with vitamins, but they also come loaded with fructose, a type of sugar that, when eaten in excess, gets stored not as energy, but as fat, specifically around the liver and abdomen. This kind of fat, called visceral fat, isn't just a matter of appearance. It wraps around your organs. It slows digestion. It increases inflammation, and it makes weight loss feel like a losing battle. What makes it more confusing is that these fruits don't feel bad. They taste fresh, natural, light. They give a quick burst of energy, a sense of doing something good, but that burst fades. Hunger returns quickly, and your body, trying to protect itself, holds on to fat even more tightly, especially around the belly. So the real question isn't, am I eating healthy? The question is what I'm eating right for my body now? That small shift in awareness changes everything. Because when you begin to question not your effort but your strategy, you move out of frustration and into clarity. And the body, even a tired one, even an aging one, responds powerfully to the right kind of clarity. And sometimes, it starts by taking a second look at the very fruits you've trusted the most. There's something deeply comforting about a banana. It fits in your hand. It needs no preparation. It reminds you of simplicity, a snack you can trust. Maybe you've had one with breakfast every morning for years, or maybe it's your go-to choice when you feel that late morning hunger kick in. It's fruit after all. It has to be good for you. But for many seniors trying to lose belly fat, that daily banana could be part of the silent resistance. Let's look at what's inside. One medium banana has about 14 grams of sugar and very little protein or fat. That means when you eat it, your blood sugar rises quickly, especially if you eat it on an empty stomach. And with slower metabolism and reduced insulin sensitivity after 70, your body struggles to handle that spike efficiently. Instead of using that sugar for fuel, your body often stores it. And guess where? The belly. But the impact goes deeper than storage. High insulin levels, triggered by sugar, even from natural sources like fruit, send a message to your body. Hold on to fat. Not burn it, not use it, store it. And for older adults whose hormones are already shifting against them, this message gets amplified. So even though that banana feels light and healthy, it may be starting a chain reaction that makes belly fat harder to lose, not easier. There's also the emotional weight bananas carry. Many people use bananas as a replacement for sweets, and emotionally, they work. They're sweet, satisfying, and associated with health. But when your body's metabolism doesn't match that emotional comfort, it creates a silent conflict. You feel like you're doing the right thing, but your body tells a different story. This doesn't mean bananas are bad. It means timing and pairing matter more now than ever. Eating a banana alone, especially first thing in the morning, can set off that sugar spike. But if you pair it with protein, like a boiled egg or a spoonful of nut butter, You can slow down the digestion and reduce the insulin response. Even better, swap the banana for berries or avocado a few times a week. They're lower in sugar and provide longer-lasting energy, the kind your body can actually use instead of store. The key is not fear, it's awareness. It's asking, is this food helping me move toward the body I want to live in, or is it just giving me temporary peace? Because true comfort isn't in a sweet snack. It's in feeling strong in your own skin, light on your feet, and finally, free of that belly that doesn't feel like yours. They're bite-sized, juicy, and easy to snack on. Grapes often sit in a bowl on the kitchen counter, tempting you with their shine and simplicity. And for many older adults trying to eat healthier, grapes feel like a safe choice, far better than cookies or chips. But what they deliver in sweetness, they take away in metabolism. Here's the part most people miss. Grapes are one of the highest sugar fruits you can eat, especially in the way they're usually consumed, in large handfuls, quickly, and without any balance. It's easy to eat 15, 20, even 30 grapes in one sitting. That's the sugar equivalent of several teaspoons, hitting your bloodstream all at once. For a younger person, that sugar spike might be smoothed out by a more responsive metabolism. But after 70, the story changes. The pancreas doesn't produce insulin as efficiently. Muscle mass is lower, which means there are fewer sugar storage sites, and the liver becomes more sensitive to overload. So instead of burning that sugar for energy, your body stores it, most often in the belly. But it's not just about weight. It's about signals. Every time your blood sugar spikes, your body reacts with inflammation. This can lead to bloating, fatigue, and that sense of puffiness that never fully goes away. And for many seniors, that cycle of sugar inflammation belly fat becomes a loop that's hard to break, especially when the source is something as innocent as grapes. What makes it harder is how grapes feel emotionally. They're easy, nostalgic, even elegant. They're what you serve guests, what you pick at while watching TV, and because they're fruit, we rarely think to question them. But if your goal is to reduce belly fat, grapes may be acting like a sugar trap hiding in plain sight. So what's the alternative? If you love that feeling of nibbling on something sweet, try switching to berries. They're lower in sugar, higher in fiber, and far more blood sugar friendly. Or if grapes are a must, eat a few, slowly, paired with a handful of walnuts or a piece of cheese. That balance of fat and protein helps your body handle the sugar more gently. And above all, listen to your body. Do you eat grapes regularly? Comment below if you've noticed any change after a meal with them. Because sometimes, what looks like a snack is really a signal, a pattern, a habit that's been with you so long you've stopped noticing what it costs. But your body notices. Your waistline notices. And maybe with one small shift, you can finally start to see a change that doesn't just feel good, it lasts. Mango is the kind of fruit that feels like a reward. It's sweet, silky, almost decadent. Just one bite can bring back memories of vacations, summer afternoons, or family gatherings. And nutritionally, it's easy to praise, packed with vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber. So why would something so vibrant, so naturally healthy, be a problem? Because under its golden glow, mango carries a load of sugar your body may no longer be able to handle. A single cup of sliced mango contains about 23 grams of sugar, nearly as much as a soda. And while it's natural sugar, your body doesn't care much about the source. Especially not after 70, when metabolic flexibility drops and liver function slows. Fructose, the dominant sugar in mango, is processed primarily by the liver. In small amounts, that's fine. But in larger doses, the liver turns it into fat. And not just any fat, the kind that wraps around your organs and settles deep in your belly. Visceral fat. The silent kind. The dangerous kind. Here's where it becomes even trickier. Because mango tastes light, we often eat more than we realize. A mango smoothie, a tropical fruit bowl, a few slices with dinner, it adds up quickly. And because it doesn't make you feel full for long, the sugar leads to another problem: rebound hunger. You eat, feel satisfied briefly, then crash and want more. More fruit, more snacks, more calories. It becomes a cycle, one that looks healthy on the surface but quietly undermines your weight loss efforts every day. And for seniors who already struggle with insulin resistance or prediabetes, a condition far more common than most realize, mango can act as a direct barrier to fat loss. It keeps insulin levels high, which tells your body, don't burn fat, store it. But this isn't about eliminating mango forever. It's about understanding context. If you truly enjoy mango, try having it in small portions, always paired with protein, like a few cubes in a salad with grilled chicken. Never as a standalone snack, and never at night when your body's metabolism is at its slowest. There's also the deeper truth. Sometimes we hold on to certain foods not just for flavor, but for what they represent. Comfort, joy, a sense of routine. And letting go of that, even a little, feels like a loss. But when that shift opens the door to a stronger body, a lighter step, a waistline you feel proud of again, it no longer feels like giving something up. It feels like getting something back. It might surprise you to see apples on this list. After all, they're the poster child for healthy eating. Doctors recommend them. Diet books praise them. And for many older adults, an apple is the go-to snack. Portable, crisp, and familiar. But there's a quiet truth beneath that red skin that most people don't talk about. How you eat an apple can make all the difference. Apples are high in natural sugar, mostly fructose, and while they also contain fiber, that fiber is not always enough to offset the sugar's effect if the apple is eaten alone, especially when your metabolism has slowed and your body's insulin response isn't what it used to be. You might think, it's just an apple. But for someone over 70 trying to lose belly fat, eating that apple on an empty stomach, like as a mid-morning or late-night snack, can trigger a spike in blood sugar that lingers longer than you think. That spike signals your body to release insulin, which, if elevated too often, tells your system to store fat, especially around your waist. The pattern is subtle. You eat an apple, feel fine. An hour later, you're hungry again. So you reach for another snack. Maybe more fruit. Maybe crackers. You don't feel full. You feel like you're chasing energy. And meanwhile, your belly fat isn't budging. It's growing, slowly but steadily, despite your best efforts. But here's the twist. It's not the apple's fault. It's when and how you eat it. Apples can support weight loss if paired wisely. Eat an apple with a tablespoon of nut butter. Add slices to cottage cheese. Include it with a meal instead of as a solo snack. These combinations slow down digestion, stabilize your blood sugar, and keep insulin from spiking unnecessarily. There's also a common emotional attachment to apples, a sense of doing something right. For years, maybe even decades, that apple was your sign of discipline, of health. But your body is not the same as it was at 40, or even 60, and the habits that served you then may now need gentle rethinking. This doesn't mean abandoning apples. It means using them more intentionally. If you've been eating apples daily, especially on their own, and you're still struggling with stubborn belly fat, it might be worth experimenting. Shift your routine. See how your body responds. Because sometimes progress doesn't come from adding new rules. It comes from tweaking the ones you already follow, with the wisdom that your body, today, speaks a different language than it used to. And that apple? It can still be your friend, just not your solo act. It's juicy, refreshing, and often praised for its anti-inflammatory properties. Pineapple feels like the kind of fruit that should help with belly fat, not work against it. Especially for seniors dealing with joint pain or stiffness, pineapple's reputation as a natural anti-inflammatory sounds like a blessing. But under the surface, its sweet nature hides a contradiction. Because for every vitamin C boost and enzyme benefit pineapple offers, it also delivers a high dose of sugar, particularly fructose, that can quietly feed the very inflammation it's supposed to fight. Let's break it down. A single cup of pineapple contains over 16 grams of sugar. For a young, active body, that might not be a problem. But for someone over 70, where insulin resistance is common and fat burning is already slowed, this influx of sugar can overwhelm the system. Your blood sugar spikes. Your insulin follows. And the message to your body is loud and clear. Store fat, not burn it. Where? Often right around the belly. It's one of the cruel ironies of aging. Foods that once supported your health can now turn against you simply because your metabolism can't process them the same way. Pineapple feels light, but the sugar load hits your system like candy. There's also another layer: water retention. Many people who eat pineapple regularly report a sense of bloating, especially around the midsection. That's not always fat, it's often inflammation-driven swelling. Your body reacts to the sugar by holding on to fluids, trying to balance itself. But what you feel is a tighter waistband, heavier legs, and a puffiness that won't go away. That's why pineapple, despite its benefits, can be tricky. It's not about fear, it's about context. If you enjoy pineapple, keep it in your life, but reduce the portion. Never eat it alone, especially not as a dessert at night. Instead, add a small amount to a protein-rich meal, a few chunks in a grilled chicken salad, or blend it into a smoothie with protein powder and greens. The added fat and protein help your body absorb the sugars more slowly, reducing the insulin impact. And if you've been eating pineapple as a healthy treat, but noticing that your belly feels more bloated afterward, trust that instinct. Because the most powerful tool you have now isn't discipline, it's awareness. Sometimes the body sends its clearest messages through swelling, tightness, or the way your clothes suddenly stop fitting. And often those signs point to foods that don't look harmful, but are, in the context of your unique metabolism. Pineapple may still belong on your plate, but if your belly won't shrink, it's worth asking, is this fruit helping my health, or just helping my habit feel justified? The difference after 70 is everything. On a warm day, few things feel more refreshing than a cold slice of watermelon. It's light, juicy, and made mostly of water. The very picture of a healthy choice. And for older adults trying to stay hydrated and eat clean, watermelon seems like a guilt-free indulgence. But when weight loss, especially belly fat reduction, is the goal, watermelon may be doing more harm than good. Here's why. Despite being over 90% water, watermelon has a surprisingly high glycemic index. That means it causes a rapid spike in blood sugar after you eat it. And just like with other fast-digesting high-sugar fruits, that spike is quickly followed by a crash. You might feel energized for a bit, but then you're hungrier than before. And what do most people reach for when that crash comes? More food, often more sugar. This blood sugar roller coaster is particularly damaging for people over 70, whose insulin function is often impaired. Each time your blood sugar rises sharply, your body releases insulin, and each insulin release tells your system to store fat. And that fat, once again, tends to settle where it's hardest to lose, the belly. But there's another layer that makes watermelon even trickier. Because of its water content, watermelon can create a false sense of fullness. You feel satisfied right after eating it, but that fullness fades fast. And because it contains almost no fat or protein, it doesn't keep you satisfied. That can lead to overeating later in the day or snacking between meals, habits that quietly sabotage your weight loss progress. And for many seniors, the issue isn't just how much they eat, but when they eat it. Watermelon is often eaten at night, a cool dessert after dinner, something light before bed. But your metabolism slows dramatically in the evening. Eating a high-sugar fruit like watermelon during this time can lead to overnight fat storage, blood sugar spikes during sleep, and even disrupted rest. You might wake up groggy, bloated, or already craving sugar. Not because you ate poorly, but because you ate the wrong thing at the wrong time. So how do you enjoy watermelon without sabotaging your belly? Limit the portion. Just a few small cubes, not half a plate. Eat it earlier in the day, never late at night. And if possible, pair it with something that has protein or fat, like a few almonds or a slice of turkey breast. This slows down the sugar absorption and helps keep your blood sugar steady. Because the goal isn't to cut out joy, it's to understand your body's new rules. After 70, your belly becomes a sensitive messenger. It reacts not just to what you eat, but to when, how, and with what you eat it. And that simple slice of watermelon, if left unbalanced, can quietly keep you from the results you've worked so hard for. Even hydration has its limits, and even lightness has its weight, especially when it's stored around your waist. They sit quietly in the pantry. Raisins, dates, dried figs, tiny, chewy, naturally sweet. You might sprinkle them into oatmeal, mix them into trail mix, or pop a few after lunch for a quick energy lift. And because they're fruit, they feel innocent, even virtuous. But dried fruits are not just regular fruits in smaller form. They're concentrated sugar, and for anyone trying to lose belly fat, especially after 70, they can be one of the most misleading traps on the plate. When fruit is dried, its water content is removed, but the sugar remains. In fact, it becomes even more concentrated. A handful of raisins, for example, contains more sugar than a slice of cake, and yet it rarely brings the same sense of satisfaction or fullness. That's the danger. It's easy to overeat without realizing it. 10 raisins become 20, 2 dates become 5, and suddenly you've consumed the sugar equivalent of a candy bar, without any of the mental warning signs. For seniors, whose insulin function is already less responsive, this sugar spike can have an exaggerated effect. The body floods with insulin. Fat burning is halted, and because dried fruits are digested quickly, the blood sugar crash that follows often triggers hunger again, leading to a cycle of overeating, snacking, and stubborn belly fat that just won't budge. But there's an emotional angle, too. Dried fruits often feel like a compromise, a way to eat clean while still satisfying a sweet tooth. They're portable, they feel traditional, and they've been part of many people's diets since childhood. There's a kind of trust in them, and breaking that trust feels uncomfortable. Yet, the body doesn't care about tradition. It responds to chemistry. And when that chemistry involves sugar spikes, inflammation, and fat storage, especially in the abdominal area, your health goals quietly slip further away. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy dried fruits again. It means being strategic. Limit the quantity. Count out 5 raisins, not a handful. Pair dried fruit with a protein source, like a few nuts or a slice of cheese, to reduce the sugar impact. And if you're serious about shrinking your belly, consider replacing dried fruit with whole fruit. Fresh berries, a slice of apple with a fat or protein, not alone. The smaller the fruit, the bigger the impact, especially when it's dried. And the belly you've been trying to flatten isn't just holding on to fat, it's reacting to daily habits that feel healthy but aren't aligned with how your body works now. Because even the smallest bites carry weight. And in the quiet corners of your routine, that trail mix, that after-dinner just one date, the truth about progress is hiding, waiting to be uncovered, waiting to be transformed. You've heard it all your life. Eat more fiber. So you filled your plate with fruit, apples, pears, bananas. Maybe you added berries to your breakfast, reached for dried figs as a snack, or blended fruit into your smoothies. You believed you were doing the right thing, and in many ways you were. But if you're over 70 and still struggling with belly fat, there's a hard truth worth facing. Fruit alone doesn't provide the kind of fiber your body needs to lose that fat. Not anymore. Here's why. Most fruits contain soluble fiber, which is important for digestion and heart health. But it's not always the kind of fiber that stimulates satiety or supports significant fat burning. And many fruits, especially when juiced or overripe, offer very little of this fiber at all. What's left? Sugar. A lot of it. When you eat fruit thinking it's your fiber fix, you may be filling your stomach without truly feeding your metabolism. What your belly needs now is insoluble fiber, the type that acts like a broom in your gut, scrubbing through your digestive system, encouraging elimination, reducing bloat, and keeping your blood sugar stable. This type of fiber is found in vegetables, seeds, legumes, and whole grains, not in a fruit salad. Worse, when fruit is eaten without fat or protein, like an apple mid-morning or grapes before bed, it digests quickly, leaving you hungry again. That hunger often leads to more snacking, more sugar intake, and a blood sugar roller coaster that your aging body struggles to handle. The result? Stored fat, especially around the middle. So what's the solution? It's not to avoid fruit. It's to rebalance your plate. Pair fruit with a fiber-dense partner. Add flax or chia seeds to your berries. Serve apples with almond butter. Eat a hard-boiled egg alongside your orange slices. Better yet, increase the non-fruit sources of fiber in your day. Leafy greens, lentils, roasted vegetables, even a slice of whole grain toast with healthy fat. Fiber, after 70, isn't just about digestion. It's about regulation of blood sugar, of appetite, of fat storage. And without the right type, your belly stays stuck, no matter how healthy your meals seem. It's a quiet mistake, trusting that fruit equals fiber, but it's also a powerful opportunity, because once you understand the difference, you stop fighting your body, you start feeding it with intention, and slowly your belly responds, not just by shrinking, but by releasing the discomfort, the inflammation, and the confusion you've carried with you for far too long. Not because you changed everything, but because you corrected one small, silent assumption. There's a kind of heartbreak in doing everything right and still not seeing results. You've chosen fruit over cake. You've replaced processed snacks with natural ones. You've walked more, eaten lighter, listened to advice that seemed sound. And yet, your belly won't budge. It's easy to feel betrayed by your body, by the foods you trusted, even by your own efforts. But the truth is gentler and more powerful than that. Your body isn't betraying you, it's evolving. And the foods that once helped you stay lean, energized, and light might now be holding you back. Not because they're bad, but because they no longer match the rhythm of your metabolism, your hormones, your digestion. That's what's so tricky about the word healthy. It makes food feel like it comes with a moral value. If it's healthy, then it must be helping you. But that's not always true. Especially not when you're over 70, when your needs are different, and your body speaks in whispers instead of shouts. Bananas, grapes, mango, pineapple, apples, watermelon, and dried fruit. None of them are poison. But if you're eating them often, without balancing them with protein or fat, without watching the portion, or without considering when in the day you eat them, they may be standing quietly between you and the waistline you want back. And it's not just about looks. It's about energy, confidence, moving without heaviness, feeling like your body reflects your effort, not resists it. So ask yourself, what foods am I still clinging to, not because they help me now, but because they used to help me? What habits feel healthy, but leave me bloated, tired, or hungry again an hour later? Because that's where your transformation begins. Not with a drastic diet, but with a gentle realignment. Have you ever been surprised to learn a healthy food was holding back your weight loss? Share your story in the comments. Your experience matters. It might be the encouragement someone else needs to finally trust their own observations. Because progress after 70 doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from listening more closely to your body, to your energy, to the quiet truths hidden in your daily habits. And sometimes the foods we trusted the most, the ones we called safe, are the ones we most need to rethink, not to punish ourselves, but to set ourselves free.